When visiting Starved Rock or Matheson State Parks, visitors will observe lush woodlands, the wide waters of the Illinois River, and of course the sandstone canyons and bluffs. I urge you to take a moment when hiking the trails to look at your surroundings. Picture life 300, 3,000, or even 10,000 years ago amongst these same sandstone canyons and bluffs. How did the human inhabitants of the time live? What did they eat? What kinds of tools or weapons did they use to survive? Humans have occupied the canyons, bluffs, woodlands, and prairies of the Starved Rock area for the past 10,000 years. Archaeologists during the 20th century have uncovered remnants of their culture and lifestyle that are on display at the Starved Rock Visitor Center and the Illinois State Museum. Some of these items include projectile points, better known as arrowheads, scrapers used to prepare animal hides, grinding stones used to grind nuts and seeds into flour, assorted bone and stone tools, shells used for adornment and utensils, assorted ceramics, and items made of metal and glass that were acquired from French and British traders. What if we were to travel back in time? Let's start with a trip back 10,000 years into the past. We would find small family groups of Paleo-Indians utilizing rock shelters, such as the indentations we find today in the canyon walls, better known as alcoves. They would hunt for mammoth and other large mammals. Their arsenal included spears fashioned with projectile points made of stone, including one known as the Clovis Point. This was the Wisconsin glacial period, and the area was covered under a large ice mass that stretched as far south as Bloomington, Illinois. These nomadic hunters kept warm by wearing animal pelts, building fires, and seeking shelter from the elements underneath the sandstone outcrops. Fast forward to the Archaic period between 2,500 and 10,000 years ago, when a warming climate and a shift from a hunting and nomadic existence changed to that of hunter and gatherers. During this period, people lived in large family groups where men fished and hunted while women and children gathered roots, nuts, seeds, and plants from the woodlands and water edges. Alcoves still provided shelter from the elements. The atlatl, a device used to increase the speed and accuracy of spears, was used by these hunter-gatherers. 1,000 to 2,500 years ago, the Archaic period transitioned into the woodland culture. The woodland people established summer villages where crops were grown that gave them a stable source of food. However, hunting and gathering remained an important part of their lives. Trade routes were established between the southern and northern American continents, and foods such as beans, squash, melons, and maize were traded for items that were not otherwise available. By the late woodland period, the spear and atlatl were replaced by the bow and arrow. Our final journey through time brings us to the Mississippian culture. From approximately 1,000 to 350 years ago, during this period, the focus of human habitation in today's Midwestern United States was the Mississippi Valley. Huge metropolitan complexes such as that at Cahokia were established. Toward the end of the period, people began leaving the Mississippi Valley and relocating at sites in the Illinois Valley, including the Starved Rock area. By the mid-1500s, a group known as the Kaskaskia, a subtribe of the Illinois Indian Alliance that included the Peoria, Tamaroa, and others, established a village across the river and a short distance above Starved Rock. The Illinois who lived at Kaskaskia, which at times included other Illinois subtribes, lived in wigwams and longhouses like this one, shaped from young trees used as the support beams, then covered with reed mats that women gathered from the local wetlands. Take a peek inside of the wigwam, and you notice a dirt floor covered with reed mats, animal hides, and furs with a central fireplace for warmth, cooking, and light. Illinois men were hunters and warriors who protected the village, while women were the wigwam engineers, cooks, farmers, and gatherers. Archaeologists have found evidence of farming on Plum Island, the large island in front of the seawall. The Illinois who lived near Starved Rock were receptive to the first Europeans, French explorers, and missionaries, who arrived in the area in 1673 and remained until 1691. The French soon built a fort on top of Starved Rock, which was the center for trade and diplomacy between the Illinois, Shawnee, Peoria, Miami, and others. Metal, gunflints, musket balls, and glass beads found in the area reveal the interaction between the French and Indians. Thank you for joining me in our travel through time during this episode of Starved Rock Snapshots. Stay tuned for future Starved Rock Snapshots into the area's history, geology, wildlife, and botany.